Hi everyone, and welcome to the Freedom is Not Free and 新闻硬邦邦听新闻最爽 channels. Today I'm still in Washington D.C. and I have an honor to interview the representative of the Taiwan's Democratic Progressive Party to Washington D.C. IRIS. There are diplomatic missions, there are representatives, but political party offices, this is something new. So let's talk about DPP here in DC. IRIS, thank you so much for agreeing to take part in this show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And as the head of the DPP's office in Washington, what are your top priorities right now and what does your office do here?
There are hundreds of embassies in this town, but it is rare to see a political party's representative office in Washington. The DPP mission has been here since the 90s. I'm very grateful to President Lai, DPP's chairman, for giving me the opportunity to serve as the party's representative to this great nation. My predecessors include Vice President B. Kim Hsiao, former Deputy National Security Advisor Paris Chang, Dr. Lai Yizhong, and everyone's favorite Uncle Mike, Mike Fonte.
He's American. And
yes, Italian-American.
Yeah, I've seen him here in DC, and he speaks perfect Taiwanese.
Oh yeah,
which is rare,
Taiwanese.
Which is very rare for an American person. Wow, so some very sophisticated people working here.
Right, and you know, Mike has been in this space before me for a long time, way back in the Dang Wai era, before the martial law was lifted. DPP was actually founded a year before martial law was lifted. So we definitely, our party plays a very crucial role in Taiwan's democratization.
For your job priorities, I know that you are in touch with many of the policymakers here
Correct.
in DC, including think tanks and security community. So what do you do to ensure Taiwan's perspectives are clearly understood here in Washington?
Right, there is an evolution of advocacy and issue sets over time. Starting from the post-martial law era, there was democracy building that we emphasize on. And then there's the cross-strait policy that we coordinate very closely with the Washington's policy community. And to this day, it is defense, and defense. Also, the whole of society resilience, which span widely from the economic security to the public health to energy, basically everything that helps us build the societal resilience.
So what are the key issues that Americans are mostly concerned about?
Right. Even the issue sets are different. The key message, though, has been consistent. Okay. It is to show Taiwan's seriousness about prioritizing our relationship with the United States and the commitment American upholds in hosting us. We want to be your model ally in the First Island chain. We are building to be the arsenal of freedom. We are fighting to keep the land of the free. We want to protect the home of the brave. That said, the ways we engage have three key pillars: invest, align, compete. Invest is a two-way long-term relationship building. We build a community of trust through policy briefings, roundtable discussions, and social events. A lot of junior members of Congress that we engage, their staff, young analysts, and student interns we have befriended over time has stellar career advancement, and then it advanced to the policy influence. It is essential that we have that high level of trust to be able to speak candidly and to coordinate actions in the political process. We create incubators for DPP's future leaders. We host summer camp, boot camps, bringing young promising legislative aides to interface with the U.S. peers and government agencies. Upon return, they were often tapped to run for office, were recruited into the government. It is an investment for us as the foreign policy bench players.
This is amazing. So the future leaders of the DPP know how crucial relationships with the United States are. You're doing a very good job here. Thank you, IRIS.
Of course. And the other pillar that we talk about is align. Naturally, we want to generate the spirit of reciprocity with our DC counterparts. So that goes in both public and private messaging to our key stakeholders, opinion leaders, and constituents, everyday American. When political leaders make key speeches and policy announcements, we wanted to ensure there's no surprise and that valuable inputs are considered. Lastly, it was about competing. It's not competing with our domestic political rivals, but it's more like countering the misinformation and disinformation in the political narrative space. We have to create a bulwark against both innocent misconceptions, such as DPP is the provocateur, as well as the malign influence operations that are targeting our narrative space.
Iris, thank you. And have there been any recent cases of misinformation campaigns conducted against the Taiwan's government or the Democratic Progressive Party?
Well, there are recent cases that we found ourselves having to defend. Go on the defense is, for example, our opposition party's representative office here will go to the Trump supporters and the conservative Republicans to accuse us of being woke, which is very dangerous. It does not do Taiwan any good service. The other disinformation we've seen just a few days ago is that the TPP's chairman, Huang Guochang, was invited to Washington, D.C., where the U.S. officials had a very candid briefing and emphasized to him the importance of passing the defense budget and political unity. Unfortunately, he did not seize the chance. Instead, he went back to Taiwan, hosted a press conference, and then spreading the disinformation, mischaracterizing what the U.S. officials said to him about the level of defense budget. Fortunately, AIT and our MND has come out to debunk the misperception that he's spreading for his own political gain.
Wow, so it seems like you're constantly being under attack, not only in Taiwan, but also abroad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so it is necessary to have an office here.
Right, but the bigger threats are not among us. It is the CCP's United Front work.
Yeah.
So it's in this spirit we created a China Influence Tracker, which is very popular among our subscribers, spanning from the senior government officials, think tank, and journalists. In the China Influence Tracker, we document periodically the reports on the PLA military intimidation, for example, gray zone tactics, cognitive warfare, United Front infiltration, which is also informative when we compare notes with the CCP's malign influence in transnational suppression across the world.
And this is very important, and hope that this information is being heard here in Washington, D.C. Let's talk a little bit about the current military budget in Taiwan. There are some very heated discussions in Taiwan's parliament, and the opposition parties, the KMT and the TPP, are resisting the current budget. Why do you think it's critical that this military budget is passed as soon as possible, and what are the real risks in terms of readiness and deterrence if these delays continue?
I have to say from the outset, our determination has not changed. President Lai remains hopeful and committed that peace must come through strength. And we place great hope on the people of Taiwan and their legislative representatives to do the right thing, to put Taiwan's security and survival above partisan politics. Through the sacrifice of those who came before us and the Taiwanese hardworking ethos, Taiwan has come so far and reached so high since the World War II, transforming into a democratic success story, economic powerhouse, and indispensable technological hub in the region. Over 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductor chips that fuels our everyday life, from cell phones to cars to AI-empowered systems, are all made in Taiwan. there will be unthinkable consequences if China annexes Taiwan.
Yep.
If we're not sufficiently equipped to defend ourselves and cannot provide the right capabilities in the hands of our armed forces today, our hard-earned democratic way of life will be gone tomorrow. The missiles are colorblind. Whether you're green, blue, or white, we are in this together.
Yeah, this is well said. Yeah.
It is, and it is the urgent existential threat to Taiwan and beyond Taiwan. And I think many KMT and TPP lawmakers understand the risk. President Lai has repeatedly extended the olive branch and offered to brief the legislative yuan. Defense Minister Gu, as well as senior defense officials, have frequently visited the opposition lawmakers. Most importantly, Taiwan cannot afford to fall backwards from the international trends that are happening. Japan has seen the largest military spending increase since World War II. South Korea aims to reach 3.5% of GDP by 2035. Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, and many of Taiwan's neighboring countries are all ramping up to their defense spending significantly, largely driven by the growing concerns of China's expansionist ambition and military aggression.
I think you have encountered a similar issue 20 years ago when the opposition was bigger in the parliament, and the president, Chen Shui-bian at the time, wanted to pass the military budget, but it got blocked by the opposition. Are there any, do you think, what are the parallels between the situation 20 years ago, from 20 years ago to right now?
Yeah, just to add to Taiwan's defense budget this year, it has reached 3.3% of the GDP for your information. And President Lai's 1.2 trillion defense supplemental will also take us to the goal of 5% of GDP by 2030, putting Taiwan ahead of the NATO timeline of 2035. So the world is paying attention to whether Taiwanese people have the resolve to defend ourselves. Keeping up with the defense budget increase is crucial for the U.S. international support. Look, we've done this path 20 years ago, and we have paid a huge price for it. Back then, the KMT controlled legislative yuan blocked 18 billion special budget. And with a slight majority in the LY's procedure committee, the Plan Bill coalition voted down the defense supplemental at least 45 times, preventing it from even reaching the floor for full debate and vote. Deja vu? They said it was too expensive and would spark an arms race with China. There was no arms race, right? As we've seen it. Instead, we've seen China invested heavily in military modernization and readiness, while Taiwan deterred. Taiwan cannot afford to repeat that mistake because the threat we've seen today are much higher than it's ever been.
I agree with that, and I know that DPP, you guys do a lot to foster better relationships with both parties here in Washington, D.C. and with the current administration. With the previous administration, you are always trying to do your best to let the U.S. know that Taiwan is the key ally and the key partner, no matter who is in power in DC and no matter who is in power anywhere else in the world.
You'll be surprised we have to repeat that over and over again because DC is very transient. And, people rotation in and out, diplomats gone to different places, in the span of short years.
Yeah, and could you tell me a little bit more about the Taiwan-US security cooperation and how has it been evolving these years?
Yes, so the good news is that we've seen multiple good signs of the good faith across the domain of trade, military technology in recent years. That all amounts to the security. American public support for Taiwan is trending up. According to the Chicago Council on Global Affairs public opinions polls, 70% of the Americans said Taiwan-US trade will strengthen U.S. national security. We welcome the Trade and Investment announcement today, ushering in the golden era that makes us both stronger and more prosperous than it's ever been.
Great. Thank you. And that sounds like some very good news for both Americans and the Taiwanese.
Yeah. Can I give you some example?
Yeah,
of the
absolutely. Yeah.
Cooperation. One very good news is just last December, a month ago, at the start of this second Trump administration, we already exceed the amount of the M&S arms sales to Taiwan, top the previous administration's 4 years. It is coming to 11.1 billion.
Yeah.
There will be more in the pipelines.
It's the largest in history, right?
Right. And another good news today is that the House passed the State Department and Treasury funding bill to provide 2.3 billion in foreign ministry financing grants and loans for Taiwan. So that could also debunk a lot of disinformation about the administration's not pursuing the FMF. Another big bill is the National Defense Authorization Act. It has significantly bolsters U.S.-Taiwan security cooperation. It authorized funds for the Taiwan Security Cooperation Initiative, TSCI, for programs of drones, military, including Coast Guard trainings, defense, industrial coal production, and supporting its participation in the international bodies such as IMF. The also really good news is the U.S. support for Taiwan's whole of society resilience.
I wanted to ask about this little orange book.
Did you get one?
No, I didn't. And it's in English.
Yeah.
I've seen one in Mandarin.
Yes. So this is Taiwan's first ever civil defense handbook, and it has distributed to all the households in across Taiwan in Mandarin, of course. We have also a lot of books in English, which our office will oftentimes present it as a gift to the members of Congress that we met with, and it's wildly popular on the Hill. A highlight is that there are a lot of talks about countering disinformation, like we talk about. And in the book, it says from the outset, any disinformation about government surrender will be false. So this is really critical part, and Taiwan has been doing civil defense drills in greater frequencies and realistic, less scripted, throughout since President Lai's inauguration.
What kind of information is there in this book? Like the shelters, emergency phone numbers, contacts?
Right. So as you know, Taiwan also has a lot of natural disasters.
Yeah.
So HADR efforts and the peacetime, wartime transition, you get the peace of mind when you know you are empowered, you could survive in terms of disasters. So bomb shelters is one. The redundancy of telecommunications to get our cell phones back up, our signals back up, our computers back up are really improving tremendously. The Go Back, which is trending in the social media space now, even the foreign diplomats, expatriates in Taiwan are showing their Go Backs. So this has been a long existing practice in the United States. So our American friends, when they see this, they're very fascinated.
That's great. Thank you so much, Iris. And I hope that right now we all know more about what the Democratic Progressive Party of Taiwan, what their representative office is doing here in Washington, D.C. And I really hope that the relationship between the two countries will become only better. Thank you, and see you in the next one.